Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making the Adrella top with sleeves. So it wasn't until I uploaded the one without sleeves that people started demanding for the one with sleeves. So I decided to record this the very next day after recording the one without sleeves. So it's been a really rough time for me because I'm kind of busy, but I had to provide this tutorial as well because now people want this instead of the other one. So this is how it looks like at the back. It's a racer back design. Then the front looks more like the one without sleeves, but with the puffy sleeves. So let's get into the video. I'm going to just walk you through the whole process from the beginning until we get to this point. So let's get started. So to start off our project, you're going to grab your 4mm crochet hook and then your yarn, and you're going to start off with a chain of 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So from here you're going to go into the second chain from the hook, so not this one but this one. You go in there with a single crochet and then double crochet into the next, single crochet into the next, and double crochet into the last. So this is what you have. You should be having a total of 4 stitches. So from here you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to single crochet into the first stitch. We're going to start increasing our work. So single crochet, double crochet into the same stitch, and single crochet into the same stitch. So that's how we increase. And then you're going to double crochet into the single crochet, single crochet into the double crochet into the single crochet, which is the last stitch. So we only increase at the beginning of the row, not at the end. So from here you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to do the same exact thing as we did for row 2. So into the very first stitch you're going to place 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet. So 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and 1 single crochet, all in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the single crochet, 1 single crochet into the double crochet, 1 double crochet into the single crochet, 1 single crochet into the double crochet, and then 1 double crochet into the very last stitch. So from this point you should be noticing that every single crochet gets 1 double crochet and every double crochet gets 1 single crochet. The only difference is at the beginning. The moment you get the beginning right, then that means you just keep alternating between the 2 stitches. So I'm going to go on and I keep working this until I have my 18 rows ready, and now we're going to start creating the bust coverage. So from row 18 I'm going to chain a total of 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have my 25 chains, and this should we're creating, the top is supposed to go around our rib cage towards the back side of our top. So make sure whatever chain that you do, it shouldn't be very short or too long, because we want to leave some space for the lacing up of the strap at the back. So I have my 25 chains, and also you have to make sure this number is an odd number. So you're going to go into the second chain from the hook with a single crochet, double crochet into the next, single crochet, and we are going to keep alternating between the two stitches across our chain. Okay, I'm placing my last stitch into my very last chain before I get to the body of the top, and this is a double crochet. So I've placed my double crochet, and remember we end our rows with a double crochet, so that means this double crochet on the body of the top gets a single crochet like that, and then you're going to continue to alternate between the two stitches across your top. This time we are not going to have any increases. This is what you should have, and now we are making it across our top. So we're going to end our row with a double crochet, just like we've been doing before. You have your double crochet there into the last stitch, and we're going to make the same chain as we made on this side. If you had 25, you're going to make sure you make 25 chains. If you had 31, you're going to make sure you have 31 chains on the opposite side. So let me go ahead and chain my 25. So I have my 25 chains, and I'm going to go into the second chain from the hook, which is this one, and I place my single crochet, then double crochet into the next, and keep alternating between the two stitches all the way across. And by across I mean you're going to go all the way to this side, to the end of this. So we're going to create that bust coverage in form of a rectangle. So I'm getting onto the body of the top, and you can see the last chain is supposed to get a double crochet. Then the very first chain on the body of the top gets a single crochet because it was a double crochet before. And then double crochet into the single crochet. The single crochet stitches are shorter and the double crochet stitches are longer. That's how you can differentiate them. So from now onwards, we are going to just keep all, we're just going to be making plain rows of the guido stitch. And keep in mind every row starts with a single crochet and ends with a double crochet. We're just going to be going back and forth. No increases, nothing, no decreases. So I want to show you what happens on this side. So you'll notice that these were 18 rows and right now we are on row 20. And row 20, you'll notice that one side has one row, but the second side has 2 rows. That was intended. If you see something like this, don't be very frustrated. It will dissolve into the whole project as we keep on working the several rows. I just didn't want to cut my yarn and keep reattaching it to create more loose ends. So I went with this approach, and as you work your project, this will cease to be visible. I will show you what I mean by that when I've worked enough rows so that the whole imbalance dissolves into the project. So I'm on my very last stitch and I'll place my double crochet, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to keep repeating that. We start our row with a single crochet into the double crochet and then double crochet into the single crochet, and keep alternating between the 2 stitches all the way across. When you get to this point, chain 1, turn, do the same exact thing until you have a total of 35 rows. So for me, this is row 20. That means I have to do a total of 15 more rows to get to 35, but do what's best for you to get your desired coverage for your bust. So I'm going to get off camera and I keep working this row until I have a total of 35 rows right from the beginning of my project until somewhere around here, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the next step of this project. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of row 35. And I've just placed my last stitch there. Now we have this going on. We have the bust coverage. If you're a bigger size and you want to cover up more, then I would advise you do some more rows, maybe up to row 40. But this is enough for a size small to medium. So from here, we are going to start creating our straps. So you're going to get your stitch marker. I have mine here, and I'm going to fold over my work into two. Make sure you identify the exact middle of your work. So when I fold over my work, I have my middle stitch here. You're going to mark it there, or if you prefer to count the stitches and find the exact middle, that's really up to you. I've marked the middle stitch. So you're going to chain one and turn your work, and this time you're going to work over 6 stitches only. So 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, those are 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we have a total of 6 stitches, 3 single crochets and 3 double crochets. We are still alternating between the double crochet and the single crochet. We're still going with the flow of the stitch texture. So from here you're going to chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet into the first double crochet, 1 double crochet into the single crochet, and repeat this across for a total of 6 stitches. So every row starts with a single crochet and ends with a double crochet. That's what you should keep in mind, and I'm going to keep repeating this until I have the strap that I want. For my top, I did a total of 32 rows for my strap, so I'm going to go ahead and do a total of 32, and then I'll be back to show you what to do next. So this is how your strap will start looking like. So do a total of 32 rows all together for the strap. Alright, so I have my total of 32 rows for my sleeve, and this measures about 15 inches. When fully stretched, it's about 17 inches. So that's what I have. And when you get to your desired length for your strap, you can always add or subtract depending on the fitting that you wish to have. But keep in mind that if you make it so long, the coverage goes down below your bust. So you have to make sure you do something that maintains the coverage for your bust. So after this, you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. You're going to leave a long strand for attaching, then pull through, and that's the end of the strap. And now you're going to get your darning needle and then put through this strand here, the strand that you just cut off, like that. And we are going to count a total of 9 stitches away from the stitch marker. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then into the 10th. This is the 10th. I'm going to mark it here. So you're going to bring your strap like this. Make sure it's not twisted, because when it goes to the back, it's going to be like this. Now we want to attach it at this point that we've marked. So we want to attach the very first stitch into the 10th stitch where we stopped counting. So we have 9 stitches away from the stitch marker. Then into the 10th, we are attaching this first stitch into the 10th stitch. Then the second stitch, we are going to attach for a total of 6 times because our strap has 6 stitches. Okay, so this is our 6th, and I'll do one last one into the same stitch. So this is how we attach our strap, and I'm going to go ahead and weave in this end. Just go into several stitches. Okay, so after this you're going to cut your yarn, and at this point we are done attaching our strap. This is how our work looks like that, and this is our armhole. So we're done with this side, and now we're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So you're going to grab your yarn and your hook. You can attach your yarn here at the front, but I won't do that because I want to attach at the back. So we are going to count 6 stitches away from the very end of our bust coverage. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th, that will be a double crochet. You will attach your yarn like that, and then single crochet into that double crochet. But as we work this row, we are weaving in this tail. So let me take this away. So single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and double crochet. So we have a total of 6 stitches all together, and at this point you can cut this tail. So we are going to chain 1, turn, and we are going to continue placing 1 single crochet into each double crochet and 1 double crochet into each single crochet across for a total of 6 stitches until we have a total of 32 rows, just like we did for our first strap. Don't forget to always chain 1 at the beginning of your row, and each row starts with a single crochet and ends with a double crochet. So continue to do that, and then I'll meet you back at the end of the second strap when we are attaching it here. So I'm done with my second strap. I've done a total of 32 rows, just like we did for this one, and we are going to fold over our work like that, like this. And since this tail is now on this side, we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to count 9 stitches away from the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we are going to count 6 stitches away from this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are going to attach this here. We are doing this because now we are attaching, moving from this side towards this side, because this is where the tail was. So you're going to attach stitch to stitch for a total of 6 stitches. And as we did for the first strap, we are going to attach 2 times into the very last one, just to make it more firm. And this is what you have. And now we are going to weave in our ends. From here you're going to cut, and at this point the general shape of the top has been achieved. You can remove this stitch marker because we no longer need it. This is what it looks like. Everything is now making a lot of sense. Now we are going to turn our work to the back side, and we are going to be creating room for straps. So we're going to be creating loops at the back where we shall be tying a strap. So you're going to grab your yarn, and you're going to attach it on one side. Like that. So you're going to chain one, single crochet once into the first row, and single crochet twice into the next row. Single crochet once into the next row, single crochet twice into the next row, once into the next row and twice into the next, like that, all the way to this point here before we started the strap. So 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then the last 2 single crochets into the last row of the bust coverage. So from here you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as a double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work, skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next. We are creating loops at the back. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, double crochet into the next, and repeat this all the way down. So I've placed my last double crochet into the last stitch, and this is what you should have. Now we're going to chain 1, turn our work to the right side, and we're going to place 2 single crochets into each and every chain 1 space or every box. So 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets. Repeat this all the way across until the last chain 1 space. So into the last one you'll place 3 single crochets because it's the last one and we want to maintain that straight edge. And then chain 1 and cut your yarn. Pull through. That's what we have. We're going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side, but this time we're going to be starting off with at the top here, going down. So that we end our last row on the right side of our work. So we want to create these loops onto this opposite side. So you're going to attach your yarn into the last row of the bust coverage. So into this row, chain 1, one single crochet, 2 single crochets into the next row, 1 single crochet into the next row, 2 single crochets, and you're going to repeat that all the way down. So we are basically doing the same exact thing as we did on the other side. You should end with 1 single crochet. Now you're going to chain 4, turn your work, skip the next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next, and continue to do the mesh stitch all the way across. So you should make sure the number of boxes that you have here is the same as the number on this side. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and this side we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. So that means the number of single crochets was more on this side, but that doesn't matter because I have 1 more stitch left. So I'll just go into the last stitch to make sure that I have 10 on both sides. So I'll chain 1 and turn my work to the right side, and I'll do 2 single crochets into each box. And into the last one, we are going to do a total of 3 single crochets. Then you're going to chain 1 and cut your yarn. Now from this point, we are going to make a very long chain of about 300 chains. Just make a very simple chain. So 1 2 3 4, about 300. All I know, it has to be really long. It could be 250 to 300 chains. This is the one that we are going to be using to lace up the back of our top. And since you saw the loops are many, there are 10 loops, that means the chain has to be quite long, unless if you want to skip a few spaces while lacing it up. So I have my chain ready. Now I'm going to bring back the top. You're going to turn it to your back side, to the back side. Okay, like that. And then bring your chain and we are going to lace it up. I don't know which one you prefer, either to lace it up from the top towards the bottom or from the bottom towards the top. I'll do from the top towards the bottom. So you're going to put it through the very first loop that you created at the top. You're going to make sure they're even. And now we're going to start lacing it up. I'll be skipping one box. So I'll skip the next and then go into the next with, I'm just lacing it up like a shoelace. So from one side to the other. Okay. Just skip one box, go into the next. And then when you come to the end, I have only one box left on each side, so I'll just put it through the very last box. Okay, So this is what you should have. So now that we are done with the main body of the top, it's time for us to make the sleeves. So this is what I was talking about. You can go all the way up to make the racer back design at the back. That's really optional. If you would wish to have this look, you're not going to stop your mesh for, at the final row of the bust coverage. You'll go a bit up, like by 5 boxes, so that you cover more upwards. So now we are going to start working on our sleeves. I've already worked one of them, and I'm going to be showing you how I did this part onto this side. So let's get started. So I did something for my top. I didn't like the way it was so open in the armpit, so I closed up about 6 stitches to the sleeve. I don't know if you can notice that. We attached our sleeve here, but I went ahead to join the body of the top onto the sleeve a bit so that I get that curve at the front. I'll be attaching a photo of me wearing it, and you see what it creates compared to a very straight cornered top. I didn't like the boxy look, so I preferred the round curve. That's why I joined a few stitches of the body of the top onto the sleeve. So about 6 to 5 stitches. So if you wish to achieve that look, go ahead and do the same. I did the same exact thing on this side. Don't forget, if you do it on this side, you have to do it on the other side too. So now we are going to be attaching the sleeve. We are going to be making the sleeve, sorry. Sleeve is not yet finished. So I'm going to be attaching here in the very first stitch, and I'm going to be working from the body of the top onto the sleeve. So we are going to start off with a single crochet round, and the way to do that, you're going to chain 1, single crochet once into each stitch of the body of the top. So 1 single crochet into each stitch. So after placing your single crochets on the body of the top, now we are going to go onto the sleeve, and you can notice that now we don't have stitches, we have rows. So you're going to go into each and every row with 2 single crochets. Each and every row with 2 single crochets. All the way around. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back at this point here. You're going to go all the way around your sleeve with single crochets, but this time we are going into every row with 2 single crochets. So I've made it all the way around with single crochets. So my last row should be getting 2 single crochets. And after this, I'm going to go into the very first single crochet that I made with a slip stitch. Now that marks the end of the single crochet round. We are going to start creating the mesh pattern. Now after our single crochet round, we are going to start creating the mesh pattern for our sleeve. So from here, after your slip stitch, you're going to chain 4. And that counts as a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch and go into the next with a double crochet, skip chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch and go into the next stitch with a double crochet. So you're going to repeat this all the way around until you get to this point. I'll meet you back here, show you how to wind up your round. So I've come to the end of round 1 of mesh, and I have 1 stitch left here, and I've chained 1. So I'll go into the third chain of the chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and place your slip stitch into that stitch. Now you're going to round 2 of mesh. So for round 2 of mesh, you're going to chain 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and then you're going to go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, and repeat that all the way around until you get to this point. So I'm coming to the end of round 2 and I've chained 1, and I'm going into my very last stitch with a double crochet, and then I'll chain 1 and then slip stitch into the third chain of the chain 4. So that's how we wind up our work. You should notice that we are always working on the right side of the work. We don't turn, we're just working in rounds, but only on the right side of our work. So you're going to repeat row 2, chain 4, and then double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch. So we are going on creating the mesh pattern until we have a total of 9 rounds of mesh. So far we have 2, this is the third. Go ahead and do that until you have 9 rounds of mesh, and then I'll meet you back to show you how to do the next step. So we're coming to the end of round 9, and I've placed my last double crochet into the very last stitch. I'll chain 1 and then slip stitch into the third chain of the chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, I'll make my slip stitch there. So this is what it looks like after a total of 9 rows of mesh. These were just plain rows, no increases and no decreases. So we're going to do something different. We're going to start decreasing so that this sleeve is not this wide. We want it to come in a bit to grab our arms. So let's start decreasing on round 10. So to begin round 10, you're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and chain 1 more. So that's chain 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1. So we are going to start doing double crochet decreases into two stitches. So prepare for a double crochet, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll remain with 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 3 loops on your hook and yarn over, pull through all. So at this point we've joined this stitch and this stitch into 1 stitch. Then chain 1, do that again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all. So we've joined the next 2 stitches. We are going to do that all the way around. We want to bring the sleeve in so that it's not so saggy. When you keep decreasing, you'll notice that your work is curving in. So that's what we have. You're going to do that all the way around your round 10, and I'll meet you back at this point. So I'm coming to the end of my round 10, sorry, and I have 2 stitches left. So I'll chain 1 and make double crochet decrease into the last 2 stitches. So I've joined those last 2 and I'll chain 1 and slip stitch into the third chain of the first chain 4. So at this point we are done with round 10. So for row 11 of the mesh row, so we are not counting the single crochet row, so we are counting from the very first mesh row, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and now we are on row 11. You will chain 4, and that counts as 1 double crochet, chain 1. Then you're going to go into the next stitch. So this double crochet is attached to this stitch. Then you're going to go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet. We are not going to be working in the chain 1 spaces for this row. So chain 1, go into the next stitch, place 1 double crochet, chain 1, go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So far we have a total of 5 double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1, and we are going to do 2 double crochets together. So you're going to prepare for a double crochet, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, prepare for a double crochet, and then go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So we've made a decrease at this point. So you're going to chain 1, make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, 1 double crochet into the next stitch. We want a total of 5 double crochets before we decrease. So far I have 1. After the decrease I have 1 2 3 4 5, and after my 5th I'm going to decrease again. So chain 1, insert your hook into the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, don't finish, and then prepare for double crochet and make another one, and then yarn over, pull through all. So we've made another decrease. We are going to repeat this all the way around. 5 double crochets and then a decrease. This is going to help us bring in the sleeve a bit so that it's not so wide at the base. So I have 1 2 3 4 5, and that means it's time for my decrease. So I'll do that real quick. Then 5 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces, of course, because we are still going with a mesh pattern. Those are 3 4. Now here the stitches are done, so I'll just go into the 4th chain from our first chain 4. I'll go into the 3rd chain, sorry, not the 4th, the 3rd chain, and make a slip stitch. So you can see that the sleeve has come in, and now we are done with this row. So for your final row all round, you're going to chain 3, and you're going to go into each and every box with 5 double crochets. So those are 2 3 4 and 5, and then you're going to go into the next box with 5 double crochets. So with time you will notice that the ruffles are starting to form. Let me do some more so that I show you what that looks like after some time. So it's just 5 double crochets into each and every chain 1 space, which is every box. You make 5 double crochets. So this is what it creates. You can see the ruffles are starting to form, that wavy pattern on the edge of the sleeve. So you're going to go all the way around until you get to this point, and I'll meet you back at this point. So I'm coming to the end of my round, and I'm placing my last 5 double crochets into the last box. I'm even running out of yarn. Thank God I'm done. So after your 5 double crochets into the last box there, you're going to make a slip stitch, and then you'll chain 1, and cut your yarn, but I don't have what to cut, so I'll just pull through and I'll weave in that end. So this is what it creates. It makes these really cute ruffles at the edge of the sleeve. So you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the opposite side. The whole process from here, from the point when we joined this, then started the single crochet row, then the mesh pattern, then the decreases, then the ruffles. You're going to do the same exact thing on this side, on the opposite side. I don't know what hand you started with, what side you started with, but yeah, that's basically going to be it, and your top will be ready to wear. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and give this video a thumbs up if you really enjoyed it. Bye.